Peace and love, black family. This is Dr. Umar Johnson, Prince of Pan-Africanism, son of Ogun, most requested black scholar on the face of the earth, disciple of Nat Turner. I am here, Greenville, South Carolina, a couple hours before I do the lecture tonight. Very important message because we're dealing with two very important topics, which I would argue are without question related to one another. We're going to be honoring the honorable prophet, the Reverend Nathaniel Turner, who was executed tomorrow, 185 years ago. Nat Turner was hanged on 11/11/1831. So tonight, I'm giving a lecture in honor of Nat Turner here in Greenville, South Carolina. So if you're interested, please come on out, show love. The lecture will be at the Reedy River Missionary Baptist Church, 1012 Malden Road. That's Mauldin, 1012 Malden Road. The doors will open up at 4 o'clock. The lecture will be from approximately 6 until 8, 6 until 9. I will have copies of my book, Psychoacademic Holocaust, The Special Education and ADHD Wars Against Black Boys. It is an absolute must read for anyone raising African children in this world. You must read Psychoacademic Holocaust. I will also have some Nat Turner t-shirts. I am Nat Turner. Make sure you come out and get your Nat Turner t-shirt. I also have some Unapologetically African t-shirts, as well as DVDs and buttons. So come on out. We're going to have some vendors there as well. So make sure you come out and show love to them. I believe Sister Donna will be there with her African women's clothing, very beautiful clothing. So make sure, ladies, you come out and get you some African clothing. Take a break from those jeans and tight miniskirts. Now, for the record, I'm doing this Facebook Live from my cell phone. So do not call me while I'm doing my Facebook Live. Anyone who calls me during Facebook Live, you will be blocked from ever calling me again. Okay? Know when to call and know when not to call. Dr. Umar Johnson. So today what I want to do, and let me also say, in addition to dealing with Nat Turner, I want to talk about the recent 2016 presidential election. The recent 2016 presidential election, as we all found out night before last, that Donald Trump became the 45th president of the United States of America. 4 and 5 equals 9. 9 is the number of the ancestors, which basically means that this is going to be a presidential term that black people are going to have to really politically, economically, and militaristically prepare for. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the presidential election, why the Bilderbergs, why the Council on Foreign Relations, why the Order of Rome, okay, why the various white secret societies did not go with Hillary. Hillary was their choice. Hillary met with the Bilderbergs. Hillary was the choice. They changed their mind at the last minute. And I'm going to talk about that tonight. Why did they change their mind? And it has something to do with poor white folks. And it had a lot to do with the threat that Donald Trump made had he been robbed of the election. But nonetheless, brothers and sisters, today's topic for this seminar is evaluating your child's evaluation. That's right. Evaluating your child's evaluation. Okay, so we need to talk about that when you get your child evaluated. And as you all know, Dr. Umar Johnson does not okay, want parents rushing out to get children evaluated. You guys know I do not like that. I do not want you rushing out to get your child evaluated. A child should only be evaluated when it is necessary and when you as the parent feels that there is something wrong with your child. Remember, all psychological diagnoses and classifications, be they in school or be they out of school, be they educational or be they clinical, all psychological evaluations are nothing more than professional opinions. They can be wrong. And when the evaluator does not look like your child, they are likely to be wrong. Okay? I want everybody to understand that it's an opinion. So whenever you sign permission to get your child evaluated, you're giving that white person power to interpret the reasons for your child's struggles emotional problems, and academic delays. You never give anyone the power to determine the reason why your child is failing. You never do that unless you do not know the reason. Okay? There's 13 different federal special ed classifications. Okay, blindness and deafness and autism and speech and language, traumatic brain injuries, orthopedic impairments, developmental delays. We don't have problems with those. We have problems with that learning disability. We have problems with that ADHD. We have problems with that mild mental retardation. And we have problems with that emotional disturbance. And we have problems with that other health impairment for ADHD. Those are the big black five that we're concerned about. Okay? We understand deaf kids need special ed. We understand blind kids need special ed. We understand autistic kids need special ed. We understand orthopedically impaired kids may need special ed. We understand traumatic brain injured kids need special ed. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the reasons why most black kids are put in special ed. And that's learning disability, emotional disturbance, mild mental retardation, okay, ADHD for other health impairment. Okay, those are the things that we're dealing with. All right, learning disabilities, mild mental retardations, okay, emotional disturbances, okay, ADHDs for other health impairment, and I'm missing one, but those are the main ones that we take an issue with. Okay, so now let's talk about this. When you get your child's evaluation, in your hand, okay? Let's talk about the different sections that should be included on the evaluation. Now, let me preface this by saying sometimes every section may not be there, okay? Which sometimes is okay if there's a good reason why. If there's no good reason why, okay, that section was not included in the evaluation, then you need to ask questions. And one of the biggest problems that I have with African parents is we don't ask questions about the evaluation. We may ask questions about the child's disability. We may ask questions about the child's presumed disability, but we don't ask questions about the evaluation. In other words, someone comes and tells you that your child has a reading disability. Okay, you say, okay, and then you go right into, well, how are we going to help them? What are you going to do? You went too fast. You don't go right into the evaluation. You don't go right into asking questions about how we're going to service the child. You haven't even made sure that the diagnosis was a credible diagnosis. Now, we know that it was only a professional opinion. All psychological diagnoses are professional opinions. We know that. But how do you go straight into, okay, my child has a disability, what are you going to do for my child? How do you go there before you made sure that the evaluation was a credible evaluation? Okay? Now, let me drop a bomb on y'all. I'm going to drop a bomb on y'all. A lot of parents think that if the evaluation is long, that it is better. Let me say this again. A lot of parents think that if the psychological evaluation is really, really long, that means that the psychologist did a good job. You are wrong. You are wrong. Now, let me say this again. Sometimes a long evaluation can be a good evaluation. Okay? Sometimes. But the reason why most of the time a very long evaluation is a horrible evaluation is because if that evaluation is 15 pages or longer, especially if it's 20 pages or longer, Dr. Umar Johnson, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, is willing to bet you your entire paycheck, okay, that evaluation was produced by a computer program. Boom. Let me say it again. If your child's evaluation is 20 pages or longer, I can pretty much bet you your paycheck. Okay? Or better yet, we ain't got to do the paycheck. Just make me some nice sea bass. Make me some sea bass with some greens, with some baked macaroni and cheese, some candy yams, some brown rice, in beans, any kind of bean. I like all kind of bean. And hook me up with some homemade orange mango apple cider. Okay, that's what I'm gonna bet you. I'm gonna bet you a homemade dinner that if your child's psychological evaluation is 20 pages or longer, that evaluation was not created from the mind of the evaluating psychologist. That evaluation was created from the computer program. Now listen to me, fam. I need y'all to listen. We have programs in psychology that we can put the child's scores in. Okay, we got programs we could put the child's score in, right? And we hit return, and the program will take the numbers, okay, interpret the whole thing, and write a report about your child. A child that it never saw, a child that it never met. The computer program was not privy to all the observations that were made while your child was being evaluated. They didn't talk to the parent. The computer program can't talk to the teacher. The computer program could not observe that child in class, but the computer program is going to do what? Tell you that your child is learning disabled. I think they should be illegal. Personally, I think they should be illegal. I have a lot of colleagues who use computer programs. I am against it. Dr. Umar does not use computer programs to evaluate children. Now, let me clarify. There's nothing wrong with having the computer score the data. In other words, you put the numbers in just like you do with a standardized test, and they simply score the results. That's fine. It's not the scoring. That's fine. They got 15 right. They can let you know that was an 80 percentile. I don't have a problem with the computer scoring the numbers. I have a problem with the computer interpreting the data. You don't let the computer interpret the data. You don't let the computer determine whether or not your child is learning disabled. And guess what? I got some more bad news for y'all. Y'all ready for this? Now, and I get emails because I'm a school psychologist, okay, certified. I'm a doctor of clinical psychology. So I get emails from the psychological test companies, right? They now coming out with these new tests where we don't even have to be there. Okay, let me not say, okay. We do not have to administer the test ourselves. The computer will give the child the entire IQ test. The computer will give the child the entire academic battery or the entire psycho-emotional battery. Okay? I disagree with that. Because if I put your child in front of a computer and the computer gives them the IQ test and Dr. Johnson does not give them the IQ test, okay? Then how is Dr. Johnson going to interpret the data and make a determination about whether or not your child has a learning disability? I did not observe them. There's so much you learn when you give the test. That's when I learn whether or not your child is disabled. It's the way they answer, the way they think, the way they process, the way they attack, and approach the problem. So if the computer is giving the IQ test, if the computer is giving the assessment battery, what information do I have other than the numbers to interpret the data and determine whether or not your child is learning disabled? I mean, what do you need a psychologist for if you're going to let the computer do the whole damn thing? So that means what, parents? What's the first thing you need to ask when you go in to review your child's psychological evaluation? What's the first two questions? Number one, was this report prepared by you, the psychologist, or was this report prepared by your psychological scoring template? Did y'all hear what I said? I'm going to say it again. Y'all better ask these questions. Who prepared this evaluation? Did you write this using your own intelligence? Are these your words? Or did the computer print out a computerized psychological evaluation of my child based on the numbers that you put into your computer template? In other words, if this report did not come out of your mind and it came from your computer, I do not want it. My child will not be diagnosed by a machine. My child will be diagnosed by a man or a woman. That's the first question you should ask them. Okay? Now, okay, here's the other thing. You have a right to review the evaluation in private, before you review it with the school. Listen to me, parents. Please listen. And I hope y'all come with me to San Diego. I hope everyone watching, all 600 of you, join Dr. Umar Johnson in San Diego, California for the 3rd Regional National Independent Black Parent Association Training Conference. Okay, we really going to need it under the Trump administration. We really going to need the Parent Association under the Trump administration. Okay, and let me clarify. Hillary was no better than Trump. So all you Negroes was on this, we got to get Hillary in. I don't know what y'all been smoking. Y'all must have had the wrong chronic. The Clintons are just as racist as the Trumps. But there's a passive racism and there's an active racism. The Clintons are, I believe Hillary Clinton is a passive racist. Her husband, Bill, was an active racist. What do I mean? Active racist means Bill Clinton actively created the 1994 crime bill. Bill Clinton actively created the mandatory minimum 3 strikes and you're out federal incarceration law. Bill Clinton actively cut 2 million black mothers off of aid to family with dependent children. Okay, active racism is when you do something intentionally to affect Africans. Hillary Clinton is a passive racist. Okay, that means Hillary wasn't going to do anything directly to hurt you. She just wasn't going to do anything to stop what other white people were doing to hurt you. Do you understand the difference? Active racism, passive racism. Let me give you another example. Donald Trump might be a passive racist just like Hillary. The reason Donald Trump might be a passive racist is because he don't have any political experience. So Donald Trump is going to rely on active racists like Rudy Giuliani. He's going to rely on active racists like Newt Gingrich. He's going to rely on active racists like Governor Christie. So because he has to look to other Republicans to decide what he wants to do, okay, even though he's a passive racist, meaning he might not do nothing deliberately to affect you, but he's not going to do anything to stop the racism from other white folk. But Rudy Giuliani, he's an active racist. Okay, you understand? Newt Gingrich, he is an active racist. They're going to deliberately do things to affect African people, which is why I'm saying to you, brothers and sisters, which is why I'm saying to you, Donald Trump is not the one to fear. First of all, I don't want you fearing no one, so let me take that back. Donald Trump is not the one you should be primarily concerned about. It's not Donald Trump. You need to be concerned about the cabinet, Donald Trump's cabinet, the Republican Advisory Council. You have to worry about those people who are going to be in his ear. The Bilderbergs, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the CFR, the Trilaterals, the Order of Rome. Okay? That's who you need to worry about. I don't give a damn about Donald Trump. Donald Trump ain't thinking, but Giuliani and Newt and Christie, okay? George Bush, you know he's going to go back to George Bush because George Bush was the last previous Republican president. I don't care about no Donald Trump. I'm worrying about those crackers in the cabinet. Do you understand me? Okay? So let's get back to evaluating the evaluation. Okay, and I hope y'all come out to South Carolina, my Atlanta people. I hope to see you tonight. My Tennessee people, hope my North Carolina people. Okay, I hope y'all come on out tonight. Okay, South Carolina, stand up. Now, okay, let's get back to the evaluating the eval. So what did I say? You have a right to review the psychological evaluation before you review it with the school. You have a